And it was on this occasion that I found that chamber, and it was all worth it. I trained during 10 years.
Are you more powerful? How much?
Do you want to see my power, Goku? Be prepared. Feel totally flattered, as I'm going to give you the honor of being the first to see my new evolution. Saiyans, I hope you stay very attentive to feel the true terror I present to you.
Yeah, $3! That's exactly what you heard! With $3 you can have full access to my manga in high quality, like Yamoshi as a Girl, and of course, the best, Akumo Saga! All this and much more with more than 5 gigs of fan manga access! Patreon and comments!
In a very isolated place in the universe was Frieza'S ship, the Emperor of the Universe. Frieza was reflecting on his fight against Goku and Vegeta and realized that he wanted more than just defeating them. Frieza was making it very clear that he wasn't satisfied with that, as his greed was speaking louder in a slightly worrying way. One of Frieza's loyal servants arrived at the hall delivering food to the Emperor as he was ordered, but upon entering, the servant noticed in Frieza's face that he was in trouble. Then after delivering the food, the servant knelt before Frieza and said, "Mr. Frieza, do I have your permission to speak?" said the servant, staring at Frieza. Frieza found it strange because the servant almost never asked or said anything, but still granted permission. Frieza spoke. "I authorize you to speak. Be brief, and try to make me not regret it. What do you want?" Frieza said, questioning the servant. The servant remained kneeling, facing Frieza. The servant said, "I don't want anything too much, sir. I just want to see that you seem irritated about something. Is there something bothering you around here? Maybe I can help you," said the servant, questioning Frieza directly. Frieza almost regretted letting him talk, so he decided to reward him for his concern and clarify his doubts. Frieza said, "There is something bothering me. The fight I had against Goku and Vegeta. I won them both without much effort, and I know you celebrated it. However, honestly, I wanted more. I wanted more than just winning from both. I'm dissatisfied with it all, and that's just it. I wanted to feel that rush I felt when I fought Son Goku the first time. Do you have any idea what I can do?" Frieza said, clarifying his servant's doubts and then questioning him. The servant struggled to think of something and luckily came up with something considerably good. The servant spoke. "If you're not satisfied with your grand display of fighting power that you showed by defeating those two, maybe learning a new technique will make you feel happy. Is there any of your interest?" said the servant, thinking and then suggesting this idea to Frieza. Frieza liked the idea and suggested by his servant. He was thoughtful for a while, thinking about which technique he would like to learn, despite not knowing for sure how he would achieve the technique. Frieza said, "That superior instinct that Goku likes so much, he's pretty good. I think it suits my combat style, and I would be very nice if I had it. I don't know how I'd learn it, but there must be a way," Frieza said, looking at the servant with conviction. The servant struggled to maintain formality and again responded cautiously. The servant said, "Indeed, sir. It's a great technique, and it would suit your fighting style. Well, I'll have to be the bad news guy this time. Unfortunately, I can't see Whis teaching you that. But don't worry, because I have a solution that takes a little longer and has a relatively small chance of working. But I guarantee it's the best plan. It'll fulfill your wish," said the servant, leaving Frieza quite shocked. The servant said, "Whis wouldn't teach you that to the Lord, but maybe another angel will help you." and then you can learn superior instinct. You would have to go to another universe and learn from an angel of the respective universe. What do you think of that plan? The servant had given a small pause in his speech, but suggested something that made Frieza very excited. Frieza placed his hand under his chin and placed his elbow on the table, showing that he was quite thoughtful. Then he spoke. I think you have a great idea. I will hunt the spheres and ask Shenron to send me to another universe. Him or any one of those other dragons to find. If none of them manage to send me to another universe, at least they will know how to get to another universe. I can't wait to learn to dodge instinctively like that Son Goku does. You did your job well. I didn't regret letting you speak, but now you're dismissed, and you can go do your other tasks before they're late, Frieza said, turning his back to his servant. The servant saluted and then returned to his service with a slight discomfort for keeping his knees too long, but the servant was happy to have pleased Frieza. Frieza went on his way to search for the spheres he tried to look for on some other planet nearby. Frieza found the first one buried under an old building. The second he found in a trophy from an event held on a planet. The third Frieza found in a piece of jewelry that was being sold as a rare gem. The fourth was in the middle of a forest in the mouth of a giant reptile. The fifth was in one of the coldest places on that same planet. The sixth was in another planet in a fashion show that Frieza participated in. He couldn't end up destroying it and ended up stealing the spear. And the last one was in the mouth of a cave that was behind a beautiful and majestic waterfall. Frieza gathered the 7 spears and then went to an open field with the spears in hand. He placed them on the ground and performed the ritual to invoke the dragon that would help him and Frieza, and it was successful in his invocation. The dragon flew over the place for a while, revealing its complete form. Shenron spoke. You summoned me, so make the request soon, said Shenron, quite imposing. Frieza felt slightly offended, but he soon made his request and said, I want you to do everything you can to make me go to another universe, other than this one, Frieza said, preparing himself in case his wish was not fulfilled. The dragon took a deep breath in annoyance and said, You don't need all that. I'll take you there myself. And since you didn't mention a specific universe, I'll take you to a random number. I'm taking you to Universe 12. Good luck there, said the dragon in a tired tone. Frieza was dropped in a random place in Universe 12 in the blink of an eye. The dragon just teleported Frieza to Universe 12, making him have to wander there in search of an angel so that he could learn superior instinct. After searching for a short period of time, Frieza ended up finding the angel of the 12 universes, and as soon as the angel saw him, he recognized that Frieza was not from there and stopped him. The angel said, What are you doing here, invader? Did you miss something in Universe 12? Said the angel, questioning Frieza. Frieza started to grind his teeth and then glared back at the angel and said, I came here with a purpose. I came in peace. I don't intend to cause problems in this universe. I just came to learn a technique precisely from you, Frieza said, exhaling tranquility in his words. The angel was curious and flattered after Frieza finished speaking. The Emperor pretended to punch the angelic being in the face, but the angel managed to dodge it quickly and easily. Frieza then faced the angel who was standing still after dodging the punch and said, This is exactly the technique I want to learn, the superior instinct you angels have. The angel of my universe would never teach me. That's why I'm here. But what about you? Do you accept to teach me this technique? Frieza said, revealing that he wanted to do in this universe. The angel nodded his head in a yes and took Frieza to a training camp on the planet, where the angel would teach Frieza to use his superior instinct. The angel started by making Frieza meditate in a quiet place without much noise and told him to sharpen all his senses while concentrating on his breathing. Frieza did all that he was asked, as he should have, because Frieza thought meditating was rubbish and wanted to jump into action. The angel noticed this and was a little disappointed. The angel tried to put his instinct into practice, but every blow that went towards Frieza hit him hard. The angel was extremely disappointed and thought that Frieza would not be able to reach the higher instinct without meditation. Frieza refused to meditate, and that turned out to be the last straw for the angel. The angel said, Enough! You can't even concentrate on a breathing exercise. You're not worthy to learn the superior instinct of angels. You're not ready to learn such things, and therefore I will not teach you. Try to teach yourself with that strange method of yours, said the angel, shouting at Frieza and showing all his indignation. Frieza then looked at the angel, completely confused. Frieza said, Come on, there must be another way. There must be other methods. I'm really determined to get through the training. We just need to change the tactic, Frieza said desperately. The angel then looked at Frieza and took a deep breath. He really liked Frieza's enthusiasm and wanted to train him as much as he wanted to be trained. But how were they going to take it forward if Frieza couldn't even do a breathing workout because he found it boring? The angel said, "Okay, I'll try to think of something in the meantime. Try to concentrate on this simple breathing training," said the angel, placing his hand on his chin. The angel then used his staff to bring a chair into that space. He sat down and began to think of an alternative other than standard training to acquire the higher spirit. After not long, the angel thought to himself, "For a being to be able to use the superior instinct, it is necessary that he has a pure heart, and just being in the presence of that man in such a short time, I already know that Frieza has a mean and selfish heart. But what if Frieza could simulate the behavior of a person with a pure heart? He would still be fooling himself, but at least he would be able to achieve a result similar to the true superior instinct," thought the angel, finally finding an answer. The angel said, "That's it," said the angel with enthusiasm. Frieza looked at the angel doubtfully and then approached him and said, "Were you able to find a solution?" asked Frieza with some relief. The angel then began his explanation and said, "Superior instinct can only be used by a person with a pure heart, which you clearly don't have. However, it is possible that we can make you reproduce attributes that only a person with a pure heart would have, thus changing your spirit, even if involuntarily. With that, you would be able to attain a power similar to the higher instinct, and perhaps in some unknown way to attain the true instinct," said the angel, explaining to Frieza his idea. Frieza had been excited by the news and spoke. "And how are we going to do that, angel?" Frieza questioned the angel, very excited. The angel thought for a while and finally came up with an answer. The angel said, "You will go through 3 challenges that would actually be just attitudes that a being with a pure heart with your level of power would do, which is therefore a challenge for you," said the angel, lightly mocking his apprentice. Frieza was dissatisfied with the angel's words, but he knew the angel was right, so he didn't say anything. Frieza just sighed. The angel spoke. "In the first challenge, you'll have to fight with an enemy weaker than you, and you'll have to have mercy on him," said the angel, explaining the first stage of Frieza's great challenge. Frieza stared at his mentor impatiently. Frieza said, "Then take me to this enemy so I can quickly advance this part," Frieza said, showing that he wanted to achieve the transformation as quickly as possible. The angel said, "Sure, just go put your hand on my shoulder so we can go," said the angel, standing up and smiling very serenely. Frieza did as the angel had ordered. The angel then slammed his staff into the ground, and they began a journey towards the opponent Frieza would face. The angel spoke. "On a planet of this universe, there is a powerful man who is destroying everything and installing chaos for a long time now, just for the pleasure of doing that. You will fight with him, you will defeat him, and have mercy on him," explained the angel while traveling through the planets of his universe with Frieza. Frieza had flash memories of his first fight against Son Goku, in which Frieza was defeated, and how merciful Goku was in the end. The memories of that fight were shameful for Frieza and filled him with hatred that they surfaced now, and he would have to do the same with Son Goku. Knowing that irritated Frieza, but it was for a greater good, so it would be worth it. Upon arriving at the location, Frieza and the angel spotted the enemy that was causing problems on that planet. The planet's landscape was made of wreckage, flames, bodies, and destroyed buildings. Frieza went straight for the attack, and before his enemy realized his presence at that location, Frieza kicked him right in the back of the head, throwing him away. The enemy was bewildered and trying to understand who or what had attacked him. The enemy received a hammer blow coming from Frieza that caused him to be thrown towards the ground. After the hammer blow, Frieza waited for his enemy with his arms crossed in the air. The enemy came out of the crater formed by its own impact on the ground and started flying towards Frieza. The enemy spoke. "Who the hell are you? And how dare you attack me like that, you insolent creature?" said the warrior, completely indignant. Frieza gave a proud smile as he looked at the warrior in front of him and said, "I'm sorry, but I'm not so patient as to keep answering any worm that appears to me," Frieza said, showing his classic proud character. Frieza fired a powerful sequence of attacks against the enemy, being careful with the strength of the attacks because even in his base form, Frieza would still be able to kill him if he didn't control himself. Frieza finished off the enemy with a kick that threw him to the ground. That would be the perfect moment to end his opponent's life once and for all. But since that was exactly what he shouldn't do, Frieza simply turned his back on his opponent, making sure he had been defeated. Frieza had defeated that extremely powerful warrior in a very calm way. Frieza said, "Well, let's go to the next challenge," I want to conquer my technique soon, Frieza said, directing his speech to his mentor, Angel. The Angel quickly turned around, swinging his shoulder, indicating Frieza to hold him. The Angel again hit his staff on the ground, causing both to start traveling through the universe. The purpose of the trip was to make Frieza reach his superior instinct perfectly, and for that they would perform several techniques. The Angel spoke. The second stage is the simplest of all, I believe. All you have to do is help someone who is hurt. I believe that because you are powerful, you shouldn't even know how to take care of someone properly, right? You're pretty miserable in that respect. It's deplorable. That's why I'm going to train you, that you can have at least a good spirit. What you're going to do is simple. You'll have to help someone in need, or someone who is seriously injured. And I know just the perfect spot for that, said the Angel, not taking long for both to arrive at the dream destination. The Angel said, Look, this village is very poor because of the government system that was implemented several years ago. There are people starving, people injured because of the guards who are absurdly cruel and aggressive, people who have incurable and advanced diseases, especially because of the grotesque health system they have here. There are several reasons, and you, my dear disciple, will help them, said the Angel, pushing Frieza with a slap on the back so that he could go to the village and finally start the second stage. Frieza walked to the village for a long time, where he finally found someone in need. The person in question was a very young child with several bruises on his body. The child was physically ill. Frieza crouched down in front of the boy, although Frieza felt nothing but the purest disgust he had to help the boy in order for his technique to be conceived. Frieza said, Boy, what happened? Who did this to you? Frieza said, questioning the boy very clearly and cleverly. The boy got a little scared, but he couldn't run away because he had bruises all over his body, making it impossible to run for several meters. The boy said, It was the guards. They hurt everyone in the village, from children to the elderly, all by order of the head of the village, said the boy, shedding a few tears and speaking in a melancholy tone. Frieza said, I see. Where is the village chief? Frieza said again, questioning the boy. Frieza took a piece of the boy's own clothes more precisely from his sleeve, and used his excellent aim and used some of his laser-like energy blast to further open the cloth he had taken, and then Frieza tied the cloth to an apparent wound on the boy's forearm. The boy replied, The chief stays in the highest house of the village. He stays there with several soldiers and several powerful warriors, said the boy, even more melancholic and sad. Frieza got up without saying a word and started walking towards the tallest house in the village. Frieza was walking very slowly. The guards that passed by his way were becoming paralyzed. Frieza's dark aura was too overwhelming for those weak beings to be able to do anything. Frieza managed to enter the house easily, managing to pass through all of the security and arriving at the office of the head of the village. That was with several warriors around him, but none of them moved even a muscle after that. Frieza's murderous aura was so absurd that they had an instinctive fear in their bodies. Frieza approached the village chief, grabbing him by the neck and looking him deep in the eyes, and said, I will exterminate you and your soldiers. I will finish you off in the worst possible way. I think you'd better stop causing problems for the residents of this village. If not... The moment Frieza said that, his aura increased even more, contaminating the entire environment around him. The head of the village could guarantee that he saw the hell in Frieza's gaze, a blank look with all that accumulated hatred. Frieza let go of the village chief, who fell to the ground shaking, and in a cold sweat, and left the room. After they left, the warriors fell to the ground completely scared, shivering and sweating cold. Frieza walked some more and got close to the boy again. Frieza said, Ready? I guarantee they won't do any harm to the village anymore. Ever again. Frieza said, crouching down in front of the little boy and smiling friendly. Frieza left the village, going to one of the food stalls close to that place. In the tent was the Angel of the 12 Universe, just protecting himself from the sun. Frieza said, Let's go. I already did what I had to do. Frieza said, forcing the Angel to get up. The Angel said, Take my shoulder again, said the Angel, turning his back to Frieza. Frieza grabbed the Angel's shoulder, and then the Angel of the 12th Universe slammed his staff on the ground again. The Angel and Frieza were teleported to a kind of forest on a faraway planet. Frieza looked around and then stared at the Angel, waiting for him to say what Frieza should do. The Angel knew very well what Frieza wanted, but still stood still, as if he had already given the order, and that made Frieza impatient. The Angel looked at Frieza very curiously. The Angel said, What do you want? Said the Angel in an ironic tone, and laughing as if he were a child. Frieza thought that if he got impatient and called the angel childish, it might jeopardize his training, so Frieza decided to ask patiently. Frieza spoke. "What should I do? I just want to know what I have to do," Frieza said, questioning the angel. The angel put his hand in front of his mouth and giggled. Then the angel continued to pretend very badly that he didn't know anything. The angel said, "Oh yes, I had forgotten. Okay, this is the hardest one. You have 3 days to figure out what you should do and get out of this forest. When you get out, I'll be waiting for you right here. Time is running out, and you've already lost about 3 minutes," said the angel, explaining to Frieza what he was going to do. Frieza didn't question him and turned to take off, but Frieza found that this would partially destroy the forest and killed several animals, since each tree leaf in that forest contained exactly 3 insects. Frieza followed his path, running and trying to find a way out. After 2 hours, he finally managed to get out of the forest, and in the distance Frieza saw a village. Now that he is in the open field, Frieza took the opportunity to fly, because as there were no trees around, Frieza did not run the risk of ending up killing an animal. Upon arriving in Frieza's village, he discovered that there was a child lost in the forest for a few hours. Frieza realized that he had to find the child and flew towards the forest. The forest was too close to see anything over it, so Frieza started running through the forest looking for that boy, but he couldn't find him at all. Frieza looked for traces that would help him find the child, but he was utterly unable to find any traces of the child. After 2.5 days, Frieza finally found the boy, but the boy couldn't resist Frieza's flying speed, so Frieza had to walk for several hours. Upon arriving at the village, everyone thanked Frieza, who ignored them because he had to find the angel now. It wasn't difficult to find the angel since he had set up a fire and lit it, which made the smoke rise to the heavens, drawing Frieza's attention. Frieza arrived at the place where the angel was and sat beside him at the fire. The angel stared at Frieza with a smile on his face. The angel said, "You passed," said the angel calmly. Frieza was confused after all. More than 3 days had passed, which was the deadline that the angel had given. It didn't make sense for him to have passed. Frieza opened his mouth, but before he could utter a single word, the angel continued and said, "Okay, you didn't get here until the end of the 3rd day, as you were asked, did you? But I never said you couldn't damage the forest or anything like that. Ironically, you would pass the mission if you had destroyed the forest to find the child. But since you had the notion of not killing any animals and avoiding killing plants as much as possible, I ended up considering your attempt and making you pass," said the angel, leaving Frieza without any reaction. Frieza didn't know whether to be angry or relieved, and with a mixture of both feelings, Frieza just replied to the angel, saying, "So I didn't need to have run all over the forest? Could I have found that boy destroying the forest? What the hell? It was a waste of time. Not to mention that I ran with the child in my arms, and he had that disgusting look of thanks or suffering coming from him. I almost had an attack of vomiting," Frieza said, grumbling about what he had done. The angel laughed because he knew Frieza felt slightly rewarded when he received all these thanks. After some time sitting around the fire, the angel faced Frieza with his serene countenance, as usual. The angel said, "Let's go back to my planet. You deserve some rest," said the angel, smiling. Frieza was a little offended by the angel's words, as he saw rest as a form of weakness, but as the challenge of his spirit had undergone a slight change, and with it, his opinion had also changed, even though Frieza did not admit it. The angel then stood up and waited for Frieza to put his hand on his shoulder, because at that point Frieza already knew what to do even if the angel didn't tell him to. Said and done, Frieza approached the angel, placing his hands on the shoulder of the angel of the 12th universe. The angel slammed his staff down on the ground, and they started the journey back to his planet. Upon arriving at the planet of the angel, he took Frieza to a recreation area, where the angel offered Frieza tea. Frieza ended up accepting so as not to upset the angel, as this could make the angel not want to train him anymore. During tea, the angel commented something ironic to Frieza. The angel said, "And to think that all this happened because you couldn't do a simple breathing workout." "Hehehehe," said the angel, giggling while covering his mouth with his hand. The angel said, "But at least it was fun," said the angel, completing his speech. Frieza was reluctant for a few moments, but then he managed a small smile. Frieza said, "Yeah, it was fun," Frieza said, speaking excitedly. After tea, the angel went to take care of some chores on his planet. After a while, Frieza came across a cave that faced a waterfall. He then thought to himself, "I've been through all this. Now I'm surely able to perform something as simple and futile as a breathing technique." thought Frieza quite motivated. Frieza sat inside the cave area so as to face the waterfall and then began to perform breathing training. And after not long, Frieza entered a meditative state where he began to feel a great increase in power, which he did not have before. After Frieza realized this, he had the clear certainty that he could achieve superior instinct. After completing the meditation, Frieza faced the angel who accompanied him and spoke. "Why did I complete those exercises? What is the use of all this?" asked Frieza, very confused. The angel stared back at Frieza in a very serious way and said, "Lest you die, you shall eat the fruit of fallen angels. This fruit is banned in some universes, but not mine. She has both divine and malefic ki. You are already evil in essence, so you had to get a little good so that you could go back to being evil. If you ate that fruit in the old state, your body would die from such evil," said the angel, explaining to Frieza the usefulness of his training. Frieza was slightly offended but ignored the angel's comment and said, "And where is that damn fruit? I want to speed up things soon because I want the higher instinct as soon as possible," said Frieza quite impatiently. The angel took a deep breath, implying that he was partially irritated. The angel spoke. "This power was formed used by angels who are now dead. That's the fruit. He has a watchman. There is a very powerful guardian inside a cave full of unforeseen events that only the guardian knows how to avoid. Now even I know how to avoid all the traps, but I have no interest in that fruit. That will be the next step for you to have complete superior instinct. Now let's train until I'm sure you'll defeat the guardian and survive the unforeseen events. Because once you enter the cave, I won't be able to help you anymore," said the angel again, explaining to Frieza about the fruit and the dangers. Frieza was again offended, but this time he complained. Frieza said, "What do you mean help? As if I need your help in combat. I'm just asking for your help because you know how to get the technique I want so much. But in a fight you just..." Frieza said before being interrupted by a powerful blow from the angel that made him fly away. Frieza came back at full speed but suddenly stopped right in front of the angel. The angel said, "I am much more powerful than you. Never forget that. Now you're going to train like I asked or else you won't have your technique," said the angel, totally irritated with Frieza's audacity to try to attack him. Frieza just ignored it and went back to training, starting with pulling heavy things and training his punches. Then the angel himself helped him train many times by putting spikes on the weights or increasing the force of gravity. Frieza figured out a way to better use his opponent's weak points, and he also learned a way to find those spots more easily. A long time passed after the beginning of the training, and Frieza was already evidently stronger and calmer. You could see it in his look that he also improved his perception and his reflexes. The angel, to test Frieza's new skills, slowly approached him. The angel said, "Come on, Frieza. I want to make sure you've evolved. I'll launch several attacks in a row, and you'll have to escape from all of them without defending yourself. Just dodge as your superior instinct proposes," said the angel, getting into a battle position, while Frieza just stood still. The angel took his staff and started a continuous sequence of attacks that Frieza had to dodge. The angel's sequence of attacks at the beginning focused on Frieza's head, which, as it's an easily moving part, made it easy for Frieza to dodge properly. Frieza had no difficulties at first, but when the angel started aiming at the trunk, Frieza had difficulties in dodging it. He had to work hard to dodge the angel's attacks. Even with some difficulty, Frieza didn't even take a hit, and had several opportunities to counterattack the angel, but he didn't take advantage of them on purpose, because that wasn't the purpose of the training. The angel noticed that Frieza didn't take advantage of the opportunities to counterattack on purpose, which made the angel quite excited. The angel said, "That's interesting," said the angel in a low voice. After that, the angel ceased the attacks, and with his hand asked Frieza to approach. When Frieza got close to the angel, he quickly delivered a blow toward his head. Frieza dodged the blow easily, but when the angel performed the attack, he left his guard open on purpose to test Frieza, who again did not take advantage of the opportunity. The angel then smiled at Frieza, and the angel said, Aye, you impress me every minute that passes, Mr. Frieza," said the angel, very happy with the result achieved so far. Frieza, who at that point was quite changed and had already purified his spirit enough, smiled and thanked his master's praise. Frieza said, "Thank you. And what is your name anyway? We've been training for so long and you still haven't told me your name," Frieza said, questioning the angel. The angel then got rid of the smile that took over his face, and the angel said, "My name is not important information, so I prefer you not to know," said the angel in an almost threatening way. Frieza was taken by curiosity but preferred to respect his master's will and didn't touch the subject anymore. Frieza said, "So why don't we go to that cave at once, It's high time we took the next step," Frieza said with animation in his words. The angel regained his humor and his smile again, and said, of course. Let's go then, my dear student," said the angel as excited as Frieza. The angel regained his posture and gave the signal for Frieza to place his hand on his shoulder. Frieza placed his hand on the angel's shoulder, and then the journey began. That specific trip was taking much longer than the trips Frieza and the angel had taken before. Frieza spoke. "Angel, why is this trip taking so long compared to the others?" Frieza said, questioning the angel. The angel, who was just waiting for the question, opened a smile before answering. The angel said, "That's because of the cave. It protects something capable of granting so much power to someone, and it's located in an area far away from all universes. It's as if it were in a universe between universes. It's complicated to explain, and it also doesn't make much difference. So let's cut this subject, shall we?" said the angel, answering Frieza's question. Frieza was satisfied with the angel's brief explanation, so he just nodded. Frieza and the angel finally reached the area where the cave entrance was. The environment was dark, and at the same time tranquil. It seemed to be at night, and the color of the sky on the planet was a very dark shade of violet. Cold breezes took the air, and the leaves of the trees swayed. The angel said, "This part is up to you. I'll wait here and watch the first fight," said the angel, sketching a noticeable smile on his face. Frieza, who was already heading towards the cave entrance, looked back confused and said, "Fight first? Like this?" Frieza said, quite confused by what the angel said. Then, from inside the cave, Frieza's first challenge emerged, which would be a kind of test to see if he was at least worthy of trying to get the fruit of the fallen angels. What came out of the cave was a kind of cyclops, made of precious stones and jewels that formed its only eye. Frieza quickly got into his combat pose and waited for his enemy, the cyclops, to attack. The cyclops quickly approached Frieza and tried to land a powerful and fast sequence of attacks. Frieza quickly closed his eyes and concentrated, and with that he managed to dodge all the blows without much difficulty. Frieza noticed a gap in the Cyclops' posture, and instead of launching a counterattack, he sought to immobilize the opponent with accurate strikes. In certain points that Frieza had noticed during the execution of the Cyclops' attack. With the Cyclops immobilized, Frieza only needed to finish the opponent, but instead he showed compassion, thus fulfilling the norms of his training. After having proven that he was indeed worthy of trying to get the fruit of the fallen angels, Frieza entered the cave extremely determined and confident of the result of his continuous training. The angel was still in the same place. He had seen the whole fight and asked for more, because the angel found that fight considerably fast. The angel said, "You can do it," shouted the angel in a continuous cheer for Frieza. From then on, the angel could no longer accompany Frieza because he didn't want to have to face the labyrinth or disturb some of Frieza's fights. So the angel just trusted Frieza. Frieza followed the maze, and in the first part, there was a Y-shaped fork where Frieza could choose whether he would go left or right. Frieza chose to go left and saw that there was no way out, but as soon as he tried to go back, Frieza realized that he was no longer in the same place, as they now had 4 different path options. Frieza tried to go back to where he came from, and again he went back to the same fork from the beginning. Frieza tried again and again to find the right path, but it was very difficult, since he had no way of knowing which path was, so his only option was to try all possible paths. Whenever Frieza made a mistake, he went back to the same Y-shaped fork, and after a lot of trying, he found a room that looked like a ring, and right behind the ring was the fruit. Frieza didn't go toward the fruit because he thought it was a trap, and after a few moments a giant warrior fell from the ceiling. The fruit's guardian looked at Frieza quite irritated. The guardian said, "If everything went according to my plans, I would have hit you, but it's complicated knowing that I can't see anything from up there. If you want that fruit so much, you'll have to fight for it, and I won't have mercy on you," said the guardian, who seemed to have some kind of vision difficulty. This guardian was quite big and very muscular, which gave the impression that he wasn't that fast. The guardian was less fast than Frieza. but still had a speed that could not be ignored as it was impressive for someone that size. Frieza went up without saying anything and tried to hit him with a knee strike. Realizing that the Guardian didn't even move, Frieza tried to retreat. The Guardian tried to catch Frieza as he retreated, but was unsuccessful due to the difference in speed. Frieza tried to go after the Guardian again, but this time the Guardian managed to grab Frieza and threw him away with a punch that made Frieza lose consciousness for a fraction of a second. When Frieza opened his eyes, he was on the ground with a giant guy walking slowly towards him. The Guardian threatened to step on Frieza's head, but Frieza dodged just in time and got up off the ground. The Guardian tried to punch Frieza but failed to hit him. Frieza fled to the other side of the room and entered his black form because Frieza knew the only way with his black form could he defeat this cursed Guardian. The Guardian got tired of seeing Frieza running and invested against Frieza at an impressive speed, but Frieza again managed to dodge and on top of that managed to counterattack with a gain that made the Guardian lose consciousness for a moment. When the Guardian woke up, Frieza was flying quickly towards him. Then Frieza went up to finally hit the Guardian with everything as he fell. Frieza said, "See if you learn to fight properly next time, you bag of muscles. Now, if you'll allow me, I'll go get that fruit over there." Frieza said, bragging about his accomplishments and heading towards the fruit that was kept in a really weird chest that said that the fruit could not be eaten inside the cave. Frieza analyzed the environment around him as he believed there was something strange. Frieza had a bad feeling. Frieza went to the Guardian and tried to torture him for answers. Frieza said, "What should I do with this here, huh? Are these really the real fruit?" Frieza said while causing pain to his former opponent. The Guardian said, "The real fruit is in my pocket. You can take it and get out of here, you bastard. But there is one detail. You must leave without taking the wrong path. Because if you make a mistake, the fruit will come back to me," said the Guardian, explaining how the fruit worked. Frieza then returned to the maze and struggled to remember the way back, and then Frieza finally managed to exit on the left side of the same fork. Frieza, as he left the cave, looked at the fruit that emanated an evil key. He sniffed the fruit, which apparently had no scent, but as soon as Frieza ate it, he felt his power rise. Frieza had already left black form, but had to go back to withstand the power and evil that the fruit was giving Frieza. Frieza was now in a new form very similar to Ultra Instinct. After Emperor Frieza finally achieves his goals and gets the technique, he so badly wanted the power of Ultra Instinct, he goes in search of testing his powers, and there's no one better for this type of test than Goku and Vegeta together. Frieza asks the angel to take him back to his universe in which he was born and raised, and the angel accepts. Frieza quickly puts his hand on the angel's shoulder, and in that way he was sent directly to Universe 7. Frieza is even meaner than ever, so he doesn't want to waste time on the mission and wants to find Goku and Vegeta to punch them in the face. Frieza leaves looking everywhere flying, but Frieza realizes that it would not be easy to find the Saiyans like that, but soon he remembers his ship that would probably be in the same place he left it when he left, since he did not let anyone pilot it in his absence. On Frieza's ship. Upon arriving at the ship, all Frieza's servants were impressed because even without being in his new form, he clearly realized that Frieza was stronger. But Frieza wastes no time and goes to his cabin and orders them to send the ship towards the Saiyans. The servants do as ordered and directs the ship to the place where Vegeta and Goku are supposed to be. Now on planet Earth. Frieza, upon getting close to the planet, can already feel the ki of the two, as apparently they are training together to find a way to beat Frieza. The Emperor of the Universe asks his servants to stop the ship and not disturb the fight until further notice, and they all understand the command very well. Frieza exits the ship and lands in front of where Goku and Vegeta were. The Saiyans, upon seeing Frieza, enter Super Saiyan Blue mode as soon as they sense Frieza's presence, as both know that he is an extremely powerful and evil opponent. Frieza responds to Goku and Vegeta by transforming into his golden form. With little dialogue, Frieza only gives a small smile. Goku, without even thinking twice, tries to give the first attack, but without success due to the great block of Frieza, who was preparing to attack, but was interrupted by Vegeta's flying at full speed, who was able to break his opponent's defense. After landing the blow, Vegeta starts laughing at Frieza's face. Vegeta said, "Don't think you're the only one training, you worm. I'll still crush you like a bug," said Vegeta, landing a punch to continue his sequence of blows. Frieza ends up flying away, but behind him was Goku, and ends up giving a blow to his back that makes Frieza fall to the ground, and the Saiyans close the sequence of attacks. Vegeta with his Gallic gun, and together with the Kamehameha, they raise dust from the high, giving Frieza an advantage as the opponent's vision is impaired by their own attacks. Frieza takes advantage of this by flying behind Goku, who turns back in fright, but realizes too soon that the blow was aimed at his partner. Vegeta ends up getting punched in the right side of the abdomen, and instead of flying, Vegeta falls, losing consciousness for a mere millisecond. Goku gets mad at Frieza, but the only thing he can do is take a blow from Frieza's tail. After this attack, Frieza laughs in Goku's face and taunts him. Frieza said, "Is that all you have? I thought there was going to be a challenge here." Frieza said, leaving Goku quite surprised. Vegeta again lands another surprise blow, but this time with a left hook. Vegeta says, "This isn't over, Frieza," said Vegeta, quite irritated. Frieza tires of Vegeta and suddenly decides to aim his attack at Goku. He first throws Goku and then kicks Goku in the face, but Frieza does it so Goku can't interrupt. Then Frieza flies toward his target, that was Vegeta, and hits him with a headbutt, making him fall straight, and then hits him with a ki blast to take revenge for what happened to him minutes ago. Vegeta flies towards Frieza and Goku and is not far behind. Frieza fends off the two and counterattacks, slamming Goku into Vegeta and then dragging them both to the ground until they crash into a stone pillar. The fight was more balanced, although it was 2 against 1. Frieza was managing to handle the situation a lot, managing not only to retaliate the attacks on both, but also defending himself from what was possible. Frieza got his guard up and charged at Vegeta, who was a little ahead of Goku, before colliding with his own friend Vegeta instinctively and managing to dodge and then immediately put his arms below Frieza's stomach. But Frieza manages to dodge. And not only that, Frieza manages to hit a straight blow to the face of Goku, who had his guard very low. This blow made Goku fly out and crash into a mountain, crossing it and falling into a very dense forest. Frieza said, well, now it's just you and me, Vegeta. I'll show you once and for all that you couldn't defeat me if you tried for 1,000,000 years, Frieza said, making fun of Vegeta. Vegeta is extremely irritated with such a comment and ends up going over to Frieza. Frieza does the same and reciprocates, going over to the Prince of Saiyans, hitting him with a powerful punch in the chin as a form of counterattack. Vegeta got up slightly, causing Frieza to grab his leg and throw him away. Frieza wasted no time and went after Vegeta again, who was completely unprotected and quite bewildered. After all, the punch that Frieza gave in the chin of the Prince of Saiyans bewildered him for a few seconds. This was the perfect opportunity for Frieza to deliver a powerful blow in Vegeta's abdomen. Soon after, Frieza moved quickly, passing Vegeta in the back and hitting a powerful punch in the back of the Saiyan Prince, leaving him badly injured and causing him to stop breathing for a few seconds. Frieza, taking advantage of Vegeta standing still, used his tail and held Vegeta by the neck, strangling him and giving him several blows on his back, breaking his ribs and causing Vegeta to start spitting a lot of blood. Frieza said, "What do you think, Vegeta? What do you think of these punches? You're pathetic. You can't face me without that Son Goku trash. Vegeta, you're disgusting," shouted Frieza while he unleashed a sequence of blows on Vegeta. Frieza continued to strike Vegeta until he released the Prince of Saiyan's neck, placing his hand on Vegeta's back and unleashing a powerful blast of ki on Vegeta's back. Vegeta went flying, crashing into the mountain that Goku had crashed into earlier. That entire area exploded, leaving the forest that Goku and Vegeta were now lying in completely destroyed. However, when Frieza looks to the side, he has a rather confused view. Frieza saw Goku and Vegeta injured but alive. What was happening was the following. At the moment of the explosion, Vegeta was saved by Goku, who managed to teleport in time, managing to save Vegeta from the explosion. Vegeta and Goku looked at each other and then they started to raise their fighting powers. Goku instantly transformed using the power of Ultra Instinct, while Vegeta activates his higher ego. Frieza is surprised but not intimidated. At the same instant that both Saiyans transform, Frieza begins to increase his power, also activating his transformation called Black Frieza. Frieza says, "I'm going to finish you off," Frieza said, quite furious. Goku said, "That won't happen, Frieza. We're more powerful than you," said Goku, answering Frieza. Vegeta spoke. "You miserable worm. I will destroy you once and for all," said Vegeta, quite irritated with Frieza. Goku and Vegeta rush toward Frieza, who does the same, but this time it's the Saiyans who win. Goku manages to hit Frieza's stomach, and Vegeta, who didn't miss the opportunity, kicks Frieza's head, leaving the Emperor of the Universe quite bewildered. Even before Frieza regained his consciousness, he was hit by a double blow from Vegeta and Goku right in the middle of his chest, which made Frieza fail at breathing a lot. Vegeta and Goku land another blow on Frieza, again a double punch, this time on Frieza's head, which caused Frieza to start falling to the ground. However, even before Frieza touched the ground, he was hit with a single blow from Vegeta, which was a Gallic gun, catching Frieza squarely and causing him to crash to the ground. Even before the dust had settled, Vegeta was on top of Frieza, landing a powerful kick which caused the dust to be instantly dispersed. Frieza screamed, agonizing in pain. Vegeta distanced himself from the ground, standing next to Goku again. They were confused, but most of all, they wanted to defeat Frieza once and for all. Frieza stopped screaming, starting to rise slowly and started flying towards where Goku and Vegeta were. Frieza spoke. "I still have one more card up my sleeve. Better get ready," Frieza said, raising his power to fight. Vegeta and Goku were surprised and intimidated this time. Frieza's fighting power was abnormal. It was much higher than ever before. Frieza came out of his black transformation, managing to access his new transformation, making his skin turn white, and his aura and eyes drastically change. Both were a very dark purple. Frieza looked at Goku and Vegeta, and then he disappeared in front of the two. Both were confused, looking around, but suddenly they were hit by a devastating punch in the stomach, both at the same time. A punch so powerful and fast caused both of them to lose consciousness for a millisecond. That millisecond was enough for Frieza to land a devastating punch on Vegeta's face, causing him to fly away and a trail of blood to follow him. Vegeta crashed to the ground, and his transformation had been undone. Vegeta was knocked out with one punch. The next to be knocked out was Goku with a punch to his chin. At the time of the punch, Goku was already stunned to the maximum, and then he was hit once more. Frieza overtook Goku while flying and landed a punch on the Saiyan skull, making him crash into the ground and pass out, consequently undoing his transformation. Frieza then watched the two Saiyans defeated on the ground and started laughing because he had completely humiliated them. The taste of humiliation was enough for Frieza, because seeing the two Saiyans that way made Frieza very satisfied. Frieza turned his back and started to walk away laughing constantly, as he had now completed his objectives and defeated Goku and Vegeta. Frieza said, "I finally got my revenge. I beat the two most powerful Saiyans. Goku and Vegeta, you are a worm. Look at this great power. I am Black Frieza, using the power of the angels, the most famous Ultra Instinct." Hey guys, I know it's sad when today's video unfortunately ends, but don't worry because the next videos are coming. And if you liked it, don't forget to leave a like, because that helps us a lot and motivates us to continue with these videos that you like a lot. Comment your theories of what might happen in the next episode, and share the video with your friends so that they can follow along. And that's all. See you guys!